Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. I am the Queen of York. If you're new here, I like to play The Sims 4 and today, instead of doing my usual speed build, I've got a speed renovation to share with you. So this is one of the lots that come with the Cats and Dogs expansion pack in Bridlington Bay. It is called the Ragdoll Refurb. So the idea is that it is a refurbished factory or industrial building of some sort, and it's been refurbed into a home, but I decided to give it a second refurb. So I deleted everything, all the furniture and stuff inside, and just made it a little bit more industrial looking because I felt like it just needed to have a bit more industrial character. So this is the Ragdoll Refurb again. So for the outside, I didn't really change very much. I liked the exposed brick walls and everything, the way that it looked and the shape of the building, everything like that, I was really happy with, and I didn't want to change it. The only thing I did change was the roofing. So originally it had, I don't know what it's called. Is it called a gabled end roof? I don't know roofs. But I changed it to this modern, I don't know, oh my god, this is so hard when you don't know what roofs are called. But you can see, so it's the half a roof that goes diagonal and straight, and I changed it to these roofs instead, and I made it this black metal sheeting look, so it looked really industrial. Internally, I did change the layout slightly, so I moved the door for the upstairs access slightly over, and I put the stairs on the other side. So when they did it, the stairs were in a different location. I also changed where the kitchen was. So in the original Maxis version, so the Sims, the default, I suppose, is the kitchen is right as you enter, and I've moved it now to the other side of the house. The problem I had was that it was just too bare. There was no like character, and with it being like a refurbished like factory or something, a lot of the time you do get original features, so I wanted to kind of put things like that back into the build just to make it look a little bit more industrial. So I used these beams which came with Get to Work and put those as supports for the upper floor. So as you can see, it's got like this cutout section on the landing so that you can see down below. So I wanted to have these industrial metal beams to kind of look like supports. I know you don't need them in The Sims 4 and it would support itself fine, but looking at reference photos of industrial builds, they do have like beams and stuff just to support the building, because they were generally quite tall, because factories, they would have to house lots of machinery and workers and stuff like that, so they had to be quite big, and they like to keep the spaces quite open, so there wasn't a lot of division in the room. So they would use beams just to support the floor above and the ceiling and keep the structure quite sound. So that is why I wanted to include that, and I just thought it made it look a bit more interesting. So when I furnish, I like to look at all the options, and I realized later on that I wasn't filming, so I actually just undid everything and then refilmed me redoing everything that I did. So that's why it goes a bit quicker here, and you kind of don't see me going the mouse moving or anything, but that is why. But I like to go through all the counters and stuff and then just like lay them out and see what I like, because it is industrial with the brick wall and the metal beams. I kind of wanted to have a bit of color with some of the furniture, but I wanted it to be quite dark with everything else. So the base color of everything is pretty much black, so it blends in with the black stairs and the dark metal beams, and also the the grey black brick wall. But then there is like pops of colour throughout, so it's not like a plain boring colour, but I just wanted it to seem quite what's the word? I wanted it to be like simple in its decoration, like kind of things were mishmashed together and they all go, so it's not like they don't match, but they're not like, it's not perfectly decorated or designed or anything like that, and nothing is too pretty, so everything has a bit of a rustic feel to it, or like an old vintage feel, I'd say. But you know, not that you have to decorate in this sort of way if it's in an industrial building. I just thought it kind of suited the idea that I was going for a bit better. And I love these pictures that are just there on the wall. They just rest on the floor and they lean against the wall. I have never seen them before, and I just love them. I think it goes so well with this industrial feel as well, but I don't know what pack they came with, but they're just perfect. So between these beams, I wanted to mount the TV. So I've never used this TV before because it's generally too big. So I do use the curved TV, I think. Yeah, we go back to it. So the curved TV, but it's generally too big for the rooms that I generally make in The Sims. But because this is such a wide open space, and I didn't want it to be too overly decorated or anything, I just thought it kind of fitted in with the space quite well because it was so big and ginormous, and it fitted between the beams perfectly, so it looks like it's mounted on the beam. And then underneath I just have this shelf with some decorative objects. I thought I did have the gaming console, but I must have taken that, deleted that. But just on the shelf I've just got some decorative objects, and I tried to keep it generally things that would sit on the shelf happily without me having to use the 09 key to lift too many objects up, just to keep it simple. And then for the style of the lounge, I've got like this Chesterfield style sofa, so it's like tufted, and I assume it would be a leather fabric, with these like poofs that are like a green colour just to add a bit of colour, and then the sofa is a white and wood style sofa with these cute wool cushions, just because it makes it look a bit more homely. I did try and play around with the idea of having this partition divider as you enter, so it's not open to too open, but then because I've added the beams, it just kind of closed the space off a bit, and I kind of wanted it to be to feel like you're in a really big open space instead of having it divided off as you enter and it being like a tunnel. So I did remove that in the end. For the entryway, it's very simply decorated with just an entryway table, and it's like a sawhorse style table. It's what I would call with trestle legs. Some storage for your shoes, and then just at the end of the corridor at the base of the stairs I do add a desk with a computer, just to fill out that space a bit and make it not look like a dead space. On the landing I have turned it into a little bit of a studio, because I did use this for my Sims who was a vlogger or pursuing the, I don't know what it's called, the video media career. She was self-employed YouTuber, and she made so much money, like it was insane. So she actually lived here on her own, and this was kind of her little studio. And I wanted a neon sign because a lot of YouTubers have like a neon sign in the background when they film, so I kind of wanted to incorporate that just so it kind of looked realistic and kept up with the YouTube aesthetic. So this is where I add the little study area just at the base of the stairs, and I like to use the dining room tables a lot for my study space instead of just using the study desks that you get, just because you can then use bigger tables and you just have a little bit more variety and choices. Also, you don't have to have the chair smack bang in the middle of the desk. You can move it. I do generally keep it in the smack bang in the middle of the desk, but you don't have to. For the bedroom, I wanted it to be very industrial looking with the, oh, what's it called? Oh, I can't even remember what these windows, Crittle? I think it's called Crittle. This with the windows in the black frame, and it's used to separate a space instead of being used as just doors or windows. A lot of images and stuff that I see of industrial spaces, they have these windows that separate it off, so there is no privacy in this bathroom. But because the Sims lives on their own, or they could have a partner, but it's just them and living in this house, it's only one bedroom, so they don't need privacy when they go to the bathroom. So they don't care if their partner sees them while they shower or in the bath or whatever else. But the actual decorating in the bedroom space is quite simple. I used this bed, which I do use quite a lot. I mean, I try not to use the same things all the time, but it's just the most perfect bed. It's so easy to decorate around, and the colorways are just so good. And I love that it doesn't have like an ornate head, it's called headrest, headboard. It doesn't have an ornate headboard that's distracting or gets in the way or anything like that. So that's why I kind of gravitate towards this bed a bit more. And I either use this bedspread, which is like the purple and blue bedspread, or the white, just because it's easy. But I do try and push myself to use other bedding. For the outdoor space, I didn't add too much in way of decorating. I kind of just added a little space to sit and have a cup of coffee or something in the morning, or just sit outside just off the bedroom on that balcony. But the main downstairs garden or outdoor area, I didn't actually do anything. When my sim did live in it, I did add a pool in that like cornered off area, but I just needed to save money. That's the only reason I didn't use it or include it in the speed renovation. But basically that is the overall look of the house. I really like the openness and the dark colors. It's just a bit fun, something a little bit different, and those industrial beams just make it look so much more like a warehouse that's been converted into a house than what it was before, I think, anyway. If you do want to download this house, it is on the gallery. My ID is the Queen of York, and it is under Ragdoll Refurb. I think that's all it is. It could be Ragdoll Refurb again, but just go onto my ID, so it's the Queen of York, and you'll be able to find all my houses and everything that I've made. But if you did like this video, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe if you hadn't already, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Dag dag!